So any confusion till now? No. Okay.
No. No.
All right. पारंपर्येऽपि प्रधानानुवृत्तेरनुवत्. So he says that if we see the parampara of the way the things have been created one after the other from pradhana, then in each of them pradhana is carried forward just like an atom. So if you start with the atom, you can create this whole universe uh, by combining atoms and making different combinations of protons, neutrons, electrons, etc. So just like you can, starting with the initial matter, the particles of matter, you can create this whole universe. Similarly, with pradhan also, that is primordial matter, you can create this whole universe. So the implication of course here is that below the anu, below the atom also, there is a further parampara where which ends in pradhan. Okay. And pradhan continues into all the others, just like the atom is to be found in all the things which are built out of it. Similarly, pradhan also has an existence in everything which is made out of it. It's just that variation exists in it. Okay.
By Uttara, by
Yes.
below the atom, you mean even smaller or minute or
Yes,
lower
yes.
in order? Okay.
Even more minute, even finer, subtler than the atom.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So sarvatra karya darshanad vibhutvam. This is again a sutra which we had encountered earlier, not exactly in this form, but the content was the same. That because we find the karyas, the effects all over the universe, therefore we have to conclude that pradhan also exists everywhere in the universe. Okay, you may recall that we had also seen that the upadan karan, the material cause, has to have no gap in it anywhere. It has to uniformly exist in the whole of the universe, because if there is a gap, then what is there over there? It is indeterminate. So therefore this whole universe is continuous, the rules of nature are continuous, and pradhana, which is at the base of all the effects, it has to occupy the whole of the universe. For this reason it is vibhu. Vibhu is the same as Vishnu, which means all pervading. All pervading means it is pervading the whole of the universe. Of course, it is not as pervading as God, which pervades even matter. So next sutra is Gati Yoge Apyatya Karanata Hanir Anuvat. So Hani here firstly has to be read as Ahani. So Gati Yoge Api Adya Karanata Ahani Anuvat. So now, as soon as you say Vibhu, then you remember there is that axiom that if something is Vibhu, then it cannot have any motion in it. So the immediately the question arises, now that you have made matter all pervasive, then how do we see all this gati in it, all this motion in the universe? Then it should all be constant. So the question is that even though there is motion in this universe, that is because of densities which change in matter. Densities plus the distribution of sattva, raja, and tama, as we have seen earlier. So these are the things which create these different particles inside the universe. They destroy the uniformity of the universe, create these particles which can now have motion in them. So even though this pradhana is vibhu and covers the whole of the universe, there are these elements in it which have got created because of differences within that all pervasive medium, and those lead to motion. So you can look upon it as you have a bucket of water. So if or a bucket which is enclosed, so if it is fully enclosed, we say that water is occupying every part of it, and therefore water cannot move. Okay, but now if you create density differences within water, now those density differences can move here and there, and then you can get motion in it. So that is how you have motion in this universe. So adya karanata ahani. Because of that, you cannot refute. Because of the existence of gati, you cannot exist the primary, primary material cause, that is prakriti. You cannot say that prakriti cannot be the primary material cause because it shows action in its forms. And he gives again the example of the atom. So atom, while it is forming uh, the whole substance, the substance can itself move, because now it has become it has acquired a shape made up of atoms. Okay, so even though the atom is the primary particle which is there, and it exists within this whatever crystal which has got formed, now this thing as a whole can move. Okay, so that is how he has given the upama of anu. So now we move on to the next one, which is prasiddhadhikyam pradhanasya nanyamaha. This is a slightly, I have doubts on what this is. However, whatever the commentators have said, based on that, we will go by that logic. I have little bit of doubt in that regard. Anyway, let us go with what they have said. So, prasiddhadhikyam pradhanasya na niyamaha. He says that prasiddha, that means that which has been well made and which is visible to us through our senses, that means gross matter. So uh, it is not correct to say that pradhana has properties which are more than what is visible to us, that is gross matter. So here the assumption is that when you say let us say matter is made out of atoms, then you presume that uh, ma- atoms have certain properties which are not carried forward into the other effects which are there. It has some properties which are peculiar to it. So this Kapila says that that is not the case. You cannot generalize it and say that that will always be the case in terms of the effects of pradhana as well. The karyas which are there, by their composition, they acquire new properties. What is carried over from pradhana is sattva, raja, and tama, the three gunas, because of which, in fact, we are able to deduce the existence of pradhana, which by itself does not give any indication of its existence. Okay, so we'll move to the next one. Satvadinam matadharmatvam सत्वादीनाम अतद्धर्मत्वम तद्रूपत्वात्. Here again, Kapil makes a very important statement, but it's not 100% clear, I have to admit. So he says that this sattva, raja, and tama, satvadi, arthat sattva, raja, and tama, uh, these are not the properties of pradhana, but they are forms of pradhana. So while we call triguna in the effects, in pradhana itself, they are actually not gunas, they are forms of pradhana. So that is why I have been telling you that you have to see sattva, raja and tama as flavors of this pradhana. You can split up pradhana into three boxes. One is sattva, raja and tama. And you cannot it has been denoted by different colors, but color is again a guna. But he is saying that that is the roop of pradhana. Pradhana itself has these three forms. You cannot distinguish it as a property. However, when we move up, it starts appearing as a property. That is why I am a little unclear on this sutra, on what exactly is the implication of this sutra. Anyway, so we will put it as one of those items which is
Tadrupa also means similar rupa also, no? In another sense.
no.
Sarupa.
No, not sarupa. Tad rupatvat. Satvadi are of that form. Of which form? Of pradhana. So they are forms of pradhana only, and they are not its properties. Atad dharmatvam. So it's saying you cannot look upon it as one time I think I had told you different colors, lohita, shukla, krishna, that analogy is there, remember, in one of the Upanishads, that
Yes.
it is red, white and black. So that might be seen as a property of pradhana. So you have three different colors in pradhana. But what Kapila wants to distinguish it and say that they are not gunas of pradhana, they are pradhana. Each of them is
Because
pradhana.
once you had mentioned that the gunas emerge only when there is imbalance. As long as they are in balance, that is the tadrupa, the three are in tadrupa. As long as they are in 100% balance, there is no guna emerging out of that.
No, that is not correct. Yes, while it is completely in balance, you cannot have anything arising out of it. That is correct. But that no guna is arising out of it, that would not be a right statement. Okay, it would come as a consequence of the fact that nothing else is arising out of it. But
Uttira, is not the Samyavastha all the three together in the same avastha? There is that's why the what you say, the pralaya and all completely the srishti is not there, and then when imbalance takes place, then the srishti starts. No.
yes. So now we are discussing what are these sattva, raja and tama. What is the swarup of these sattva, raja and tama? What we have seen, sattva, raja and tama, we have seen that they reflect attraction, repulsion and neutrality. But are they properties of pradhana? It's like electron has a spin up and down. So is it like that? It is a property which is there, or is it some form of pradhana only? So Kapila is saying it is a form of pradhana, it is not a property. So an electron can spin, have a spin up or a spin down. So it is not like that. Electron remains the same. So here he is saying that sattva, raja and tama are the electrons only. So you can say there are three different electrons. They are not some property
No,
of the
are they protons, neutrons, and electrons then?
No.
Sattva, Raja, and Tama?
No.
No, are they not?
No.
From the analogy, it seems so much like that, One is a negative, one is a positive, and one is neutral.
Correct. So, firstly, the attraction is there between positive and negative. It doesn't matter whether it is positive or whether it's negative. So that attractiveness, that is generated by sattva. And when positive and positive is repelled, then that repulsion is generated by this rajas. And tamas is this inertia or neutrality. So they are not that for sure. These are particles which come up as we move up and move into gross matter. And these are now all things which are below gross matter, which we cannot sense at all.
Uttaraji, can we understand it as like how we discussed about aviveka? How it is not the property, aviveka is not the property of the soul, neither it is of the matter. But when the matter and the soul come together, that bandha and aviveka come, at once. Like, when these two kind of come together, the aviveka also comes into picture. Is it the same with the gunas also? It's not the property of the pradhana. Yet when it comes in contact with the soul, then like how aviveka comes, these
No,
gunas
but,
also come into picture.
Sattva, Raja, and Tama is found in the absence of soul as well. So in all of matter, you find Sattva, Raja, and Tama, not only in the body.
Example?
Example, in your photons, in electrons, in protons, in neutrons, these are all made up of Sattva, Raja, and Tama only. The whole universe is made up of matter. Matter is made up of pradhana.
Okay. Okay.
So
Regardless
you
of soul,
will
the
see-
gunas exist.
Yes.
Okay.
So you look upon it in this way only, that it is like there are three types of electrons. Okay, so it is not a property of the electron, it is the electron. So pradhan itself has these three forms. Okay, so now the 40th sutra. Anupabhogepi pumartham srishtihi pradhanasyoshtra kunkuma vahanavat. This is again one concept which has come many times earlier, including the upama as well. So he says that even though pradhan is not involved in upabhoga, it itself does not consume anything. However, it is involved in the srishti of it is involved in this creation for the soul. Pumartham. Pum, which is actually means masculine in Lokik Sanskrit, but again it is the origin of Purusha only. Okay, so it means the soul here, don't take it as masculine. So Pumartham, for the soul. Pradhanasya srishtihi anupabhoge api ushtra kunkuma vahanavat. Just like a camel carries saffron on it, kumkum. Okay, so the camel carries a saffron, which is such a precious material, while it never tastes saffron ever, but it is lugging it along for its master. So we are the masters of Prakriti, and for us, Prakriti has created this whole of creation so that we get these items which we can enjoy, which we can taste, which we can derive pleasure from. So all this is just for these souls, which are us. Okay, so let us do one more. Karma vaichitryat srishti vaichitryam. This again is a concept we had done earlier, that because of the differences in the karmas of beings, there is this variety in srishti. Because since there is so much variety in the karmas, the upabhogas which are linked to those karmas have to be that much varied. To provide that variation in the upabhogas, you have to create a srishti which is so vast, which is so varied. So you can take all the people on this planet, and you will find that their bhogas, what they have, their experiences in life are never the same. You can never bring two people together who say that yes, we have lived the life together as one, as if there was no difference in our experience. So it is that is why it is so impossible for us to figure out this karma vyavastha and to find out that if I do this, what will I get in return. These are this is actually the clue for why we are not, never will you ever find that if you do this, then this will be the immediate response of the universe. It cannot be determined because a lot of things determine what will be the consequence of your karma. Okay, I think we will end here. Is there any question? You can ask a question if you like.
No, but today's topic we have to read twice and then we will come back with questions.
Most of the sutras are from the previous one only. There is, you have already studied them. But yes, the new sutras which are there, at least couple of them, there is some gap in understanding. But otherwise, they're okay. They're not difficult.
I think we understood, but I think once we read your commentary, it becomes much more clearer and everything can be put together well in our brains, I guess. Like,
okay, good. I hope from last time. Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
No,
Kala.
you finish. No. Yeah, I'm not sure. Can I just put one-liners for each verse? Just see if I've understood.
Mm-hmm.
See, the 32 says that it talks about what is the order of creation, and primordial matter is the primary cause.
Yes.
Okay. 33 says that the soul cannot create, could not have created Prakriti because it is animate.
Yeah.
Okay. Then 34 is again the same thing. No. Okay. If you live in this world thinking the world and the body are Brahma, then no, just tell me this, please. 34.
Yeah, so if you think that this world is the upadana karan, the material cause is the soul only, then you will never find the soul. So number one, it is against the Vedas, the preaching of the Vedas. But even if you say, okay, forget the Vedas, but you will not go ahead and look for the soul, you will never go in for mukti. Because what you have is it. So you only are there in the body, and other than the body, there is nothing else. Right? Even in fact, everything outside is also the soul only. Okay, so we don't need to look for something different.
And 35 said, if we see the paramparas or the order, pradhan is carried forward in subtle items, subtle forms.
In all forms. Yeah.
Okay. Then
Sarvatra karya darshanat vibhutvam.
Okay. Okay, that is okay. And this motion thing, okay, I'll read when you give us the commentary. That if it is all pervasive, where did the motion come in? I'll just try to understand that.
Yeah.
And okay, others are okay.
Others are okay. All right.
I think so. I hope so. Yeah.
So the next two are the ones which I have given you the explanation which is there in the book, and I don't have my own explanation for it. But the thing which in the 39th one, okay, it seems to be fine, whatever explanation is given. But what is the consequence of that? There should be a reason why he's making that distinction. So that is not clear to me, and that is why I am not clear. And in the 38th one, again, why he has said it, it doesn't seem right for that reason. See, if you are not able to figure out the reason why he has said it, then there is no meaning in that statement or in your understanding as you want to look at it.
No, just like in verse 33, he said that the soul is not the cause of the creation. Soul could not have created Prakriti. And again in 34, we are again going through that saying it cannot be the soul which created, right?
No, in 34th, he is actually saying that this is a new statement which he has made, which he is saying that you will not even go for moksha if you go with the belief that the upadana karan of this universe is the soul.
The soul, okay.
Yeah, because you have made the visible universe the soul only. So then what is there to look for? It is there in front of you.
Okay.
Right. So you will be involved in feeding this soul. That is this body which you are seeing. It is all that is, as per your belief. This body too is the soul. So why should I not do things which this body appreciates? Why should I look for something which is abstract, which I cannot see? That is what you see in this whole world also. No, those who do not believe in a soul are not looking inside to find something else. It is only in this country that we have this understanding that there is a soul and we have to do something about it. In other countries where they even believe in a soul, the soul automatically after this life goes into either hell or heaven, and that's it. That's the end of it. So again, you don't have to look for a soul, because anyway you will see yourself after death.
Okay.
Okay, so let us say our prayer. Shall I repeat the sutras once?
Yeah, I think it will be nice to read through them.
Okay. So prakriteratyopadanataन्येषां कार्यत्वश्रुतेः नित्यत्वेऽपि नात्मनो योग्यत्वाभावात् श्रुतिविरोधान्न कुतर्कापसदस्यात्मलाभः पारम्पर्येऽपि प्रधानानुवृत्तेरणुवत् सर्वत्र कार्यदर्शनाद् विभुत्वं गतियोगे अप्याद्यकारणता हानेरणुवत् प्रसिद्धाधिक्यं प्रधानस्य नान्यमः सत्त्वादीनामतद्धर्मरूपं तद्रूपत्वात् अनुपभोगे अपि पुमर्थं सृष्टिः प्रधानस्योष्ट कुङ्कुमवहनवत् कर्मवैचित्र्यात् सृष्टिवैचित्र्यम्. Okay, so please unmute yourself. We'll say our prayer.
Abhayam mitraat, abhayam amitraat,
Abhayam jnanaat, abhayam puroyah,
Abhayam
abhayam
naktam,
Abhayam
Divanaha,
sarva
asha mamamitram bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti. Dhanyavadah.
Dhanyavad.
We can't call that a chorus.
I spoke to Shanti auntie a couple of days ago. She asked about everybody.
Actually,
I
because
told
it's
her, why
online,
don't
she
you
can join, huh?
I know.
Yeah.
I told her, but I think maybe after a week or so, because she